Hello, Christian. Welcome to our web conference about hydrogen.
Hello, Barbara.
Hello.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much for joining us. So the first ever European Hydrogen Week, organized by the Fuel Cells and Hydrogen Joint Undertaking and the European Commission, just ended last Friday. What were the main conclusions and the main revelations that were brought to us on this week?
Well, first of all, we had quite a strong participation by political people. We had 4 commissioners taking part in the meeting, 5 ministers and 6 large company CEOs. And we had, of course, lots of other participants that took part in the event. And all of them were very eager to promote and to accelerate the development of hydrogen. I think the conclusion at the end of the day on Thursday was that we had somebody said even it was a historical day, because we saw that Europe is ahead. Europe should move. It's time to get started now. We had a very interesting presentation from Bloomberg telling us that we are ready to go. We don't have to wait for anything. We just need to take decisions to get started. And of course, in the beginning, it will still not be something that will develop by itself. It needs some political support. And on Friday, we had the project day where we had some 180 projects that were sort of submitted. And we had the presentation of a number of them, and we also had 14 investors who pitched and wanted to find projects and companies that they could support. So it's really getting started.
Mm-hmm. And it was a week full of big announcements. Already on Monday, the new Renewable Hydrogen Coalition was revealed, brought by Wind Europe and Solar Europe. and then Hydrogen Europe also unveiled the plans to deploy 100,000 hydrogen-powered trucks. And also the German state-owned railway company Deutsche Bahn and Siemens said they will get a train moved running on hydrogen into operation in 2024. Also, Italy reported preparing a hydrogen strategy. So it was really a full week, not only talking and discussing hydrogen, but also with already plans being built and being put to action.
Indeed, indeed. And a lot of substance also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just talks, but really sort of, we need to get the first gigawatt plant going. As you mentioned, the train and the trucks, there was also discussions about the green steel plant, which also would need a lot of hydrogen. So it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And we see that European Union already have an hydrogen strategy, a clean hydrogen alliance, and more recently, as I mentioned, a renewable green hydrogen coalition. Do you think that Europe is in a good position to be the world leader in green hydrogen in 10 years' time, and produced as the strategy foresees 10 million tons of renewable hydrogen in 2030?
I think it could indeed be more. I mean, we just need to follow through now on the announcements. I mean, we have the round tables that are going to soon start their work of the Clean Hydrogen Alliance, and they will come forward with projects, ambitious projects, how to make it happen. So that, of course, is a very important step still. But we've seen also the banks being ready. I don't know if you were there on Thursday afternoon. There was a sort of very engaged discussion between one of a big project developer and the European Investment Bank, each of them getting more and more excited about it. So it's really moving, but we need to now keep the momentum and build it further in order to really arrive at the substantial figures. Let's not forget, the blueprint for the Clean Hydrogen Alliance until 2030 is 430 billion euros of investment. That's a lot. And that we need to start now. We cannot wait until the end.
And so we have the European Commission completely on board, national governments, also the companies in the alliance, and also you mentioned banks, because companies need financing. It's a new technology. It's not quite mature as it could be. Do you think that it's important to get the finance and the banks also on board?
Well, the banks will not help. I mean, the technology is mature, but it is not economically viable if you take it the way it is today. So you really need to get across the first hurdle. And for this, the banks are not enough because they want bankable projects. But for this, we need also government money. And in Portugal, you have announced the fund. The Germans have a big fund. I mean, if you add it all up, we are already at 25 billion euros across Europe in terms of support money, not in terms of investment, but just the public support. So if you triple or quadruple that, you end up already at 80 billion. So that's fine. What we need now is projects, and the Portuguese minister was there also on Thursday. And Portugal is actually ideally located, because in the end, for green hydrogen, you need renewable electricity. The best form of or the most economical form of renewable electricity is photovoltaics, and the best country for photovoltaics is Portugal and Spain together, but nevertheless. So Portugal is in a prime position to get going. And that's also why we have a lot of hopes on Portugal to move ahead with significant projects, not just with 100 megawatts. That's nothing. That's you know, you don't need government for this. We need to get, I mean, but there was this claim of Bloomberg saying, once we have reached 20 gigawatt capacity, we are at break even. It doesn't matter if it's 2030. If we are not there by 2030, it will take longer. If we are there before 2030, break even will happen earlier. It's really just a matter of speed of rollout. And Portugal is the best positioned place together with Spain.
So you would say that the decision makers and companies and everyone in Europe and Brussels are quite aware and quite paying attention to what Portugal is doing in hydrogen, to the Sines project?
Yes, indeed. I mean, the Sines project is still not enough ambitious, I would say. There's everything there that you need as good ingredients, but 100 megawatt by 2025, that's nothing. This leaves Europe sort of alone. That this is totally losing the momentum.
So you think that it should be more ambitious still?
Much more ambitious, yes, indeed.
And you said that you have already transmitted that to the companies, to the consortium.
When they ask me, I say this. I have said this. I have been asked, and I have said this. Yes, indeed.
Okay. And this goes quite to what Vice President Timmermans said, that for hydrogen to be a success, it has to be cross borders. It cannot be just national. And we see countries like Portugal and Spain maybe teaming up and then working with the Netherlands, with Germany, and creating the value chain, the supply in the south and then the demand in the north. Do you see that working like that? It could work like that in Europe?
I mean, we have to really share the work according who can do what best. And when it is about production, it's very clear that you have solar and you have wind, and this is not evenly distributed. If you go to the Czech Republic, they have, I mean, it's twice as expensive. Hydrogen produced in Czech Republic from solar is twice as expensive as hydrogen produced in Portugal, maybe even more than twice as expensive. So when you look at transportation costs, they are substantial, but still they're about, if you look at pipelines, if you look at sort of already an advanced stage of development, they are half the cost. So if you have 1 plus 50% is 1.5, and the cost is 2. So it's very clear that Portuguese hydrogen, even when it's transported to the Czech Republic, it will be cheaper than the one produced in the Czech Republic. On the other hand, you have wind in the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. So wind is also a source of renewable electricity. And of course, you have biomass, but biomass alone will not be sufficient for the challenge. So if you want, Portugal and Spain and also Italy and Greece, they are the new oil countries. It's like the Arabs. This is now the big export thing for the south of Europe. And I think it must be exploited, this opportunity. It's very important to get going as soon as possible to exploit the opportunity and build the markets. It's a big thing. It's billions. And this revenue is something that can also build you have tourism, but you can also have energy as a second source of wealth for Southern Europe. It's a big opportunity.
Yes, you mentioned that the Sines project could even be more ambitious. The problem is that in Portugal, we have a lot of renewables because someone in the past invested in them and decided that the country should go that way. The problem is that the Portuguese energy consumers, maybe well, a big slice of our energy bill every month is to pay that energy that is produced by renewables. So there is a big discussion indoors on a national level, if the hydrogen is going to create another burden on our energy bill. So do you follow what I say? Because the energy was subsidized by the government. So hydrogen is, people say that okay, it's great that we are doing so well on a new technology, on a new energy technology, and then be on the first place of something in Europe, but on the same page, some voices are afraid that this is too big, too much.
I'm not sure I understand the issue with electricity prices, because in principle, electricity made from solar in Portugal should be a lot cheaper than in other countries.
It's true.
So I think you should have an advantage in the energy prices. Now, secondly, if you want to invest in your future, you need money. Of course, it doesn't happen without nothing. So there's a need to be entrepreneurial and to make the investment in order to build the future. But I'm not sure why this has to be the electricity consumers, because this electricity is not used for the Spanish population. It's not used to build the Portuguese grid. So it shouldn't be on the shoulders of the Portuguese public. It's rather something that is invested by the state, yes, indeed, but also by companies to build the future of the supply, of the European supply of green hydrogen. Yes, it needs an investment, but the investment should not be on the shoulders of the public at large.
But still, as the government has presented, the big investment is from the private sector, from companies, and companies are very willing to invest. How do you see the role of the companies, of the private sector in hydrogen? Will they be the backbone of the development of hydrogen in Europe?
It depends on their ambition. You need ambition. And I think one may actually also need a bit more of a broader approach. I think if there's not enough ambition there from national companies, then maybe there needs to be companies from other countries, because there's also, of course, competition between countries. So if the Portuguese economy is too slow, maybe the Spanish economy will be faster. I don't know. I mean, we also had the vice prime minister actually from Spain at the conference. So Spain is also very aware about the opportunity, and it's massive. It's absolutely massive. It's really something that can meet the tourism revenues per year. Okay. It's replacing oil. Oil industry is a very huge industry. If you replace that, it becomes a very huge industry. So the opportunities are massive, and that needs to be picked up accordingly, not only by one or the other companies, but on a broader scale. And even if maybe there are companies from other countries coming into Portugal to do this, to drive this exploitation, it will still be a benefit for the national economy of Portugal. So I think the government needs to be very much in supporting this and driving this in order to stay on top of things.
And do you think that the countries from the south of Europe can face a challenge from other countries like Morocco and some countries from the Mediterranean, but from the north of Africa and Middle East?
I told you, the difference between Portugal, or the Iberian Peninsula, if you like, and the middle of Europe, let's say Germany or Czech Republic, is double. The difference between the Iberian Peninsula and Morocco or Algeria is maybe 20–30%. So the difference is not that big anymore. On the other hand, there is an easy opportunity to make pipelines between Spain and the rest of Europe, and pipelines are a prerequisite for cheap transportation. If you have to get hydrogen by tankers from other continents, by ships, that is much more expensive. The difference there is higher than the difference in cost for the production. So I think the opportunity is there. The point is just you need to quickly get things going in order to build on that cost advantage that is there. Yes, indeed, the sun is shining even more intensely in the Sahara, but they also have problems with water. The Sahara is far away from the coast. So there is all kinds of difficulties also for other countries. It's the one who will be the fastest to get really in a massive way on the market who will capture the market.
Okay. Christian, one last question. If you had to leave a message for our Portuguese audience, for our government, for our companies, for everyone that is looking to invest in hydrogen today, giving what you already said, what is the message that you leave us regarding hydrogen to the Portuguese audience?
Well, I think there's also, of course, areas of application of hydrogen in Portugal. So yes, indeed, start small, start now, build the Portuguese economy with the opportunity of green hydrogen, but also grasp the opportunity in order to be ready when it becomes bigger. So the point is, not to wait. Particularly, I think for Portugal, the issue is not to wait. Go ahead. The opportunity is there, and it's there where it is the most ready to be taken, with some support from public money, with support from the EIB, of course, as well. But nevertheless, it needs entrepreneurs, it needs activity, it needs ambitious action. And that's what is very important, I think, for the Portuguese now to do.
Okay, Christian, thank you so much. Thank you for talking to us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck for your conference and for Endeavor. All the best.
Thank you so much, Christian. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.